Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of that FPL show. We're going into game week 21 now. I'm joined by Rod. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad myself. You?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, last time we spoke was on the 23rd. Since then, we have had Christmas. Rod, I just want to know, how did you get over that hangover? All right, because you were hanging on the 23rd. Was in a fish and chip shop. Rob was trying to fist bump everyone working there. He was a distraction to everyone in public that night, Rod.
I was the super spreader of coronavirus that night, but
Oh,
it was an awful hangover. Don't get me wrong, but it's the Christmas period. You've got to have a few drinks, and I do think I went over the top. But you live and you learn, or in my case, you live but you don't learn.
yeah, but there is some rumours going on, Rod, that you were chandering in one of the toilets, but we won't get into that. Did you enjoy your Christmas anyway?
Yes, mate, but obviously as you get older and it's you kind of lose a bit of the Christmas spirit and like you said earlier on, talking to me, the best presents are now things that you actually need. And obviously I've got some beard moisturizer, some beard shampoo, some clothes, and that's what you look forward to now, and obviously the Christmas dinner. But when you're a little kid, you look forward to the toys and like new Xbox games. But yeah, you grow up,
Yeah.
you just look forward to the finer things in life.
Yeah, I loved it. I got some socks, some boxes. I very much enjoyed them. Got some new slippers. That's like my one thing at Christmas. I love getting a new pair of slippers every year. Um, so yeah, it was great. Got to see the family a bit. Got to see the kids. So it was a really nice time. But we're back, Rod, in terms of fantasy. I've had an absolute shocker. I've been really ill the past couple of days, and I've missed the last two deadlines. So, real shocker for me. I'm on 23 points this week. Last week, I think I did. I can have a look here. Last week, I did 32 points overall. So, shocking. I haven't changed my team since game week 19. Oh no, since game week 18, sorry. So, real shocker for me. Hopefully, we can get back up to it there. How you doing, Rod?
Yeah, not great. I'm currently on 35 points. I had an absolute shocker on the last game week. Obviously, Salah wasn't playing. I wanted to field 11 players. So I took out Salah, bought Foden in, and it didn't work. So for this game week, I was like, they're playing Leicester, injury-ridden Leicester, who look awful at the back. I brought Salah back in. I brought Reguilon in for a hit. And in place of that, Foden scored 11 points. Rudiger scored a few fewer, but he was close to that clean sheet. And then instead, Reguilon scored me zero, and Captain Salah scored me zero, missing a penalty, which he never usually misses. And yeah, I'm on 35 points. I'm eight above the average, but I'm currently on a red arrow at 63k, and United are still to play tonight. So I imagine that's going to be exacerbated, and hopefully De Gea and Ronaldo stay quiet, but against a poor Burnley side, I'm really not sure of that happening.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so it's a lot coming up now in terms of fantasy. It's obviously been rapid. It's been so rapid. I've missed the last two bloody deadlines. Just being ill, basically bedridden, sleeping. So I've missed the deadline. So I'm a bit fat. But let's talk about some of these upcoming game weeks, bro. Because obviously you sent me this graphic on Twitter, and it's talking about the possibility of double game weeks, game week blanks, and stuff like that. So if you wouldn't mind just talking us through us, and maybe we could talk about some upcoming transfers that you might need to bring into your side.
Yeah, so if you can get the graphic up on the screen,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you
so
don't follow him already, then follow Ben Quellin, everyone. He's really good around this sort of period and just throughout the fantasy year in general. And obviously, you can see there's a potential Watford triple game week. It is unlikely, but there is a potential of it. And then Villa have a good chance of a double game week in the next couple of weeks, and it's likely going to be Brentford with Burnley or Leeds. So Villa assets could be quite good. Then I imagine a lot of people already have Watkins. And obviously James got injured last night, so I may be looking to get Cash in, who I think is a good choice. And then, oh yeah, obviously Watford, potentially in game week 22, they have Newcastle and Burnley or Palace and Wolves. And who else to pick out? Obviously Liverpool, a big one. I think there's a good chance, very likely it says, that Liverpool in game week 22, play Brentford and Leeds or Arsenal. So I think people could be looking to triple captain there, could be looking to free hit, wild card to prepare their teams. And I think, yeah, Man United as well in game week 22 could have Villa with Brentford or Brighton. And if Ronaldo pulls his finger out and United in general, United assets could be quite wanted there, especially De Gea, Delo, Ronaldo, like I just mentioned. So there is a lot to think about. And obviously the Christmas period, the New Year's period, games are every couple of days. So deadlines are the same. So you got to keep an eye on that and make sure you sort your team out, really. And it's an exciting time for fantasy, but it's also a difficult time when players you want to perform don't.
So, in terms of that though, obviously you see City at the bottom there. They've just got 2 regular game weeks. Is that like the sort of team you want to be sticking clear of? Obviously they can bring you in the points, but the lack of a double game week, is it worth a punt leaving out the City boys?
I think that's the thing with City. Obviously, I don't think they've had a game cancelled yet. And bar Cancelo, you just don't really know where the points are coming from. Like I brought Bernardo Silva in when he started banging. I think he had like 3 really good game weeks in 14, 15 and 16. And then I brought him in, and since then he's basically blanked.
The curse.
And it's just really difficult to know where the points are coming from, because one week Mahrez might play Sterling, might play Jesus, Grealish, Foden. They've just got so many attacking players, so I think I'll be looking to... It's not a real bad fire, but I will be looking to ship Bernardo soon. But my main players are... Obviously, Chelsea go away to the Club World Cup soon. I think they're going to blank for a couple of game weeks, and James got injured yesterday, so I think I'm going to be looking to ship James, like I said, for a cash, and then just targeting players with double game weeks, which I think we should find out in the next couple of days when they are and who they are.
Yeah, that's fair enough. In terms of so from the list of teams you've talked about, obviously you've talked about Watford being maybe the holy grail with a potential triple game week. Unlikely, but potentially. From these sort of teams, any sort of players that really stand out for you? I'm sure Dennis is one potentially for Watford.
I've got Dennis in my team, but if say he gets that double in 22, he's only going to play one of those games, because then he does go off to the AFCON. So Dennis is a bit of an annoying one, and because I think he would have banged there.
Yeah.
And also James Foster got injured, because I think he is still their number one choice, and I had him on my bench, so that would have been amazing to play him there. But then King, I think, because King's probably going to be the talisman as soon as Thingy goes, Dennis goes. They have still got Cucho Hernandez on the bench, Charles Pedro and that, but I think King is probably going to be the go-to. So if I was to recommend a player from Watford, I will probably say Josh King.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think you'd be staying away from Burnley, right?
Yeah. If I was on a wild card, I think I'd probably bring in Matt Loughton at 4.4 million.
Yeah.
And he's likely to play a lot of games over this next period. I think Burnley are the team who've had the most games called off. So if I was on a wild card or even a free hit around this period, say I was free hitting in 22, then I've probably got, which I might be free hitting in 22 to be fair, I'd probably maybe bring in Matt Loughton.
Yeah,
or even if you can rotate your goalkeepers with keepers who have double game weeks, then I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, United do have potentially 2 double game weeks. Wolves, Brighton or Brentford, and then Villa, Brighton or Brentford again. So either one of those. So with United, I think it's kind of tricky at the moment to pick certain standout players for them. It's easy to go Ronaldo, but obviously then it's a lot of funds you have to bring in on Ronaldo, where there's other players who are getting game time at United at the moment who are probably more valuable, per point in FPL. I think like the likes of Dalot you got to be looking at, especially if United can start playing bit better around the football, because defensively they're not looking awful, I'd say. It's just they looking like they're lacking creative wise, and obviously Maguire's probably the biggest letdown in that United defense. But other than that, I think you could be looking at even maybe a De Gea. He's obviously been on fire this season, made some crucial saves for United. Is there anyone you think about, Rod?
I was just watching, obviously, the new Man United Newcastle game, and I was seeing who was passing the eye test. And going into this game, I was like, right, well, I'll keep a good eye on Rashford, because I like Rashford as a differential shout, and I like him as a player, but he just didn't suit that system. Sancho looked okay when he came on, still not brilliant. But I think it's a shame Salah's not a forward, because it'd be an easy swap to Ronaldo for the 2 weeks he's out. But
Yeah.
I want to see who's nailed in the fullback spots, because I think that's where a lot of points can come. And we saw Luke Shaw towards the end of last year, where he was bringing in the points with set pieces, assists, etc.
Yeah.
So I think tonight is going to be a good indicator if Dalot keeps his place, because I do think Wan-Bissaka is fit now.
Yes, both are all are fit. It's just that Luke Shaw was coming back from that concussion injury. I'm pretty sure he's good to play now. I would be shocked if he doesn't come in for Tellez, but on the other hand, I am less likely confident about Wan-Bissaka winning this spot back straight away.
Yeah, so I think Luke Shaw could be a good shout. I think he's just over the 5 million mark, and United have to start turning up at some point.
Yeah, they definitely do. With that, Rob, I think we should talk about some of these games, actually, from the other day. And I want to start off with the Leicester-Liverpool game. Did you get to catch this one?
I did indeed. This was the pub where it was the last pub of the pub crawl, and we watched this game. And oh my god, I was in dreamland. Salah penalty early on. I was like, here we go. And then I think it's one of the worst penalties I've seen from Salah. It's an absolutely perfect height, and he's palmed it away. And then I'm like, okay, he's going to score the rebound, and he somehow chokes the header. And I was like, oh my god. And Leicester, injury-ridden team. I hate Schmeichel as well. And somehow they managed to grind out the 1-0 win, and that's trouble for Liverpool, because those are games you have to win, and that's with Salah and Mane.
Yeah, I felt like Leicester really deserved the win as well. Obviously, got a bit of luck with the penalty, and Salah's gone up for the rebound afterwards, but he's just gone too early, so he's kind of like just hanging there. It was like slow-mo. He just stood in the air for ages, but obviously he heads the ball as he's coming down and he hits the bar. I thought Liverpool created some decent chances, but they weren't like, they were the more prominent team going forward, but I wouldn't say they were like, it just looks like they're going to score here. I thought Leicester played really well. Defensively really solid, and to be fair to them, they're playing very weak at the back, because they have to play Amati and Ndidi at centre back, and both of them aren't really known for playing centre back on the regular. But I thought they did a great job. I thought they deserved the win. I thought Lookman took his chance really well. I think Liverpool will be very disappointed defensively in it. But I think most of the main talking points from this game would actually come after the game with Klopp. I think he gave credit to Leicester. He said that they probably deserved the win today. But he was moaning about how, these football players are playing too much football. I've never, and he does it every year. Complains over the winter schedule list where there's games, every 2-3 days. Does he have a point to this, Rod, or is he just, is he like an old record on repeat?
I think there's two sides to the argument. I get where he's coming from, because obviously these professional athletes are exerting their energy every 2 days, but they are getting paid a lot of money for it, and you have the chance to rotate players. That's the whole point of transfer windows. You bring in players and you bolster your squad so you can play different players and give players a rest, or let them play 15-20 minutes. And he's been in the league for 4-5 years now, so he knows what the Christmas period is like. You can prepare for it. You know the fixture list in September, so you know what's going to come, and he does it every year. And
The thing
I
is
think
that, oh, go
if
on,
it
sorry.
going his way, I don't think he'd be moaning. If he was in City's position, 8 points clear at the top of the league, I don't think he'd say anything like this. I haven't heard Pep say anything, to be fair, bar the 5 subs.
Yeah,
And
we'll get on to that in a bit.
it is just an old record on repeat, and it is annoying.
Yeah, for me, I just think there's ways around it. We was talking earlier, and you was talking about how, you know, he went into Champions League against AC Milan with the entire starting lineup when it wasn't needed, and I think that's the same in the Premier League. That he's had opportunities to rest players in certain games, but he continues to start them. After the game, he said, "Oh, if you've got certain players, you have to start them every game." I don't think that's true. I think any player you can give a rest at any time. And also Liverpool are a big club, but they do have power to spend in the market, and it's okay having a really good starting 11, but when you burn them out like Klopp does, you're gonna have to have a deep squad and be able to go into the reserves and bring people in. And I don't think he's had that, and I think that's what kind of backfired on him last season, because the starting 11 is brilliant, but maybe some of the other players in the squad aren't as great, and I thought he would have learnt by that and maybe strengthened the depth of the squad, brought in some new players. But for me, it's absolutely ridiculous, because I do understand what he's on about. Yes, too many games, but it's England, and it's always been like this, and it's always going to remain like this. And if you don't like it, you could fuck off back to Germany and go back to the Bundesliga and have the fucking winter break. Because I love football around this time of year, and I hate it when he's moaning about it, because I feel like it's going to make things change. But this is what the Premier League is about. It's about the ups and downs, about the roller coaster ride. And just because he's not having it the same way, he's pissed off about it.
And just one more thing on that, I completely agree with you, mate. I love football around this period. Games every 2 days. Obviously, I think we got a day or two break tops now, because it's New Year's Day, and then we're straight back at it. And I love football around this period, and he's got to remember, he's got an aging squad. You can't have players you can't have players like Milner playing every 2 days, but that's the whole point of transfer windows, or bringing in.
Milner's a bench player, but the thing for me is, Rod, it's like he knows he's been here long enough. He's had chances to go strengthen his squad. He's had chances to stop burning his squad out, but he does it every time. It's kind of like insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And this is how players get injured as well for Liverpool, because other teams, everyone gets injuries, don't get me wrong, but like last season it was a write-off of injuries, but they didn't have the replacements in the squad either. And I think something similar could happen this year. Like, if Van Dijk goes down, I wouldn't be surprised if something else happened with them.
I mean, we saw how shaky their defence was when Van Dijk was out with COVID for a game or two.
Yeah.
So if I will get onto the title race shortly, but yeah, you raise a good point.
Yeah, I think so. Right, Rod, I just want to fly through 3 games real quick, just like, a couple of talking points here and there, and then we'll be on to Wednesday games. So we're still on the Tuesday. I want to go West Ham first. Right, dominant win over Watford, 4-1. I want to ask you, what is the ceiling for your best friend, Jared Bowen?
There is no ceiling. He's proven to be a very, very good player, and I don't know what's in Danny Dyer's kitchen, but she's doing bits for him. And yeah, Bowen, absolutely fantastic player and fantasy asset as well. And I am looking to get him in. And I think West Ham, they did go through a rocky patch, but I think Watford can maybe galvanise them to keep going, because Arsenal are getting onto their tail. I think Arsenal are ahead of them, actually.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and more than everything you just said, Rod, he's a great friend, isn't he, mate?
He is a great friend. We've known each other for a year or so now.
Yeah. All right, next game, Spurs Southampton. I just felt like Spurs weren't very productive offensively, and like for me, I just want to ask you. Do you see Spurs really doing anything in the January transfer window? Because I think they could do with a bit more creativity in the midfield. What do you think?
You see, I think they've got a good spine for me, and for me, they've got creativity. They've got a lot of egos, though. I like Ndombele. I think he's a good player. I like Dele Alli. I think he's a good player, but their egos and arrogance I don't like, and often they do just rely on Son and Kane, and when it's not sticking, it's just not working. And for me, Southampton, that's a game you've got to be winning. They've been poor this year, Southampton, and I don't know. I don't even know where Spurs can finish this year. After that Liverpool game, I was like, flipping it. Conte's got them playing, and
Yeah.
then they played. Who was it? The game before, I think Palace. They beat Palace, and I was like, oh, they look okay. And then against Southampton, I just didn't think they were with it.
No, I just think for me, I really like Højbjerg. I think if you could have someone different playing next to him, I don't mind Skip. I think Skip's okay. But maybe, obviously, Winks for me, definitely not the guy. I think you need someone who can maybe transition the ball a bit quicker, someone who can, help the team progress up the field. I'm not too sure if either of those players are the ideal, but definitely, I think they got a solid spine, as you said. Just need to maybe sort out the kinks here and there. Right, Palace against Norwich, Rod. I thought this looks like Palace are back a little bit again. But for you, has the Dean Smith bounce end already? Dean Smith manager bounce already stopped.
I saw a stat the other day. I think he's the first Premier League manager to lose five in a row with two teams in the same season. So hats off to you, Dean. And mate, it was a tough job. I'm so surprised he went into it so quickly after losing his dream job. And I think they've just got to start planning for next year. That they're a poor team. They've got some good individual players, but they're a poor team, and they've got to basically start planning for next year and see what they can do. Well, we know what they can do in the Championship. And if he doesn't win it by more than 15 points, he'll be deemed a failure. But yeah, for me, I think Norwich, I just don't see any fight in them like I saw Newcastle against United. So for me, they're pretty much gone. But I do remember us talking, must be a couple months ago, about how we didn't think Norwich could win a game. But I think they've won two since we said that.
Yeah, and Smith definitely has got some things working. And I think they struggled with injuries, especially in that Norwich game. They lacked a man up top, no Pookie. But I think they could do a sacking Smith and bringing in another manager for a new manager bounce, because when they got the new manager bounce, they looked like a different team, Norwich. See, they could probably just do this every 5 game weeks, bring in a different manager, and they could get out the relegation same road.
And I think who's next on the list? Mourinho.
Mate, Mourinho at Norwich. Oh my days, that's the dream, that one. All right, let's go. Let's move on to Wednesday's fixtures. Let's start off with Chelsea, because they're out the title race. They played Brighton, Rod, and I thought they looked okay. I felt like Brighton were also...
I thought they looked okay. They've got a mega squad, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought they looked okay. That's what I'm trying to say. I thought they looked okay, but I didn't think they looked like the only team who looked like having a say in the game. I thought Brighton were decent. As you can see in the stats here, actually, they actually had 18 shots to Chelsea's 11 and 6 on target to Chelsea's 5. But with Brighton, they got the goal late, and I think they thoroughly deserved it, and a draw at a minimum for them. But Chelsea, like you said, the squad they've got, is Tuchel in trouble here, Rod?
The thing is, if it was
It's time to go.
Any other club, I'd say no, but because it's Chelsea, and I think 6 months after winning the Champions League is when a manager's most at.
Well, they sacked Matteo, wasn't it? Was it Matteo they sacked after winning it? Yeah,
exactly. So he shouldn't be in trouble, mate. I think he's got to have at least this year. He's bought himself some time winning the Champions League. So he's got to have this year, but they're currently 8 points behind City. That's a lot of points at the halfway point of this, just over halfway point of the season. So, mate, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it's pretty much over for Chelsea in the title race, and
I agree.
He should be all right for this season.
I agree. If they went, like, for me, it's not the fact that I don't think that they could maybe even put a real decent run together. I just don't see City letting off for me. But yeah, in terms of Chelsea, I think I don't know. For me, I think they look better with Lukaku in the team. Obviously, he's going to need a bit more time. I think Tuchel, I don't know, man. That squad is amazing as well. I don't know. Tuchel out. It's time to go, Rod. He needs to go. I think we should talk Brentford City straight away. Let's get on to the title race because, in my opinion, Rod, the title race is done. I think City are the most consistent team in the way that they take the least risk and they get the maximum out of most games. And I just don't see them dropping enough points for the other teams to get. They're obviously going to drop points, but are the other teams going to be able to go flawless? And I just don't think they will be.
We say they're going to drop points, but they're, like you said, they played low risk but maximum reward. It's the most. I watched the Chelsea game to start with. That was an alright game, and then obviously when City started, I put that game on. And it's just so boring, mate. And
They are
I
boring.
watched it, and it's just like they've got a mega squad. Like there's some of the players in that are unbelievable. But I want to pick someone out, which I'm happily critiquing because I hope he rots in that side.
Oh,
Jack Grealish. What the fuck is he doing in that side?
fuck it. You're right, Jack Grealish. For me, he's a bit like Rashford. Like, for them, he slows the game down a lot. Doesn't move the ball quick enough. Obviously, in the Villa side, I thought it worked well for them because obviously Villa were on the break, but they weren't really had too many threats in the side. But Grealish should get the ball, hold it up, win a foul, and Villa would have a chance from a set piece. I thought it worked really well for him. But at City, he's very. I think it just proves Maddison's actually was the better option when everyone was going Madders or Grealish. It might actually be that Maddison was the player.
But it's all about systems. And what made me laugh yesterday was Ake got it in centre back and he had Grealish to the left of him and he just didn't give it him and he went back inside. And it's like, he's such a luxury player and he doesn't fit Pep's system. He's not a wide left player. He's best collecting the ball from deep and dribbling with it and going at players.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. At City, it's touch, pass, side, backwards. So he doesn't suit that. Even central in the first half, where he played the whole of the first half, he barely got the ball. But you see, Foden suits the system brilliantly. He was collecting it. He scored an offside goal. He scored a real goal. So, mate, I worry for Grealish, and he's probably depreciated in values to around like 50, 60 million now. He just doesn't look like the player he was at Villa. He is not Aston Villa Jack Grealish. He is
the thing
robust.
is, for me, it's like I don't know, like I don't feel like City are going to use them all too much coming like in the future, and it's like where would he even go next? Because nothing really makes sense for him. Yeah, but I just wanted to talk about this game a bit, Rod. Obviously, City deserved the win, but I actually really thought Brentford were really good. I thought they took it to them at times. I just think they did lack, that cutting edge and a bit of quality, but I thought they did well. They gave City a game, and what I really liked about Brentford was they went there and they stuck to a game plan, and they didn't just roll over for City and let them have it easy. Obviously, City dominated possession as they always do, but I thought Brentford give a good account of themselves. Do you agree or not?
I thought they obviously Villa play them in a few days, so I was just kind of watching what to expect, and I thought that was so difficult to break down.
Yeah.
I thought they were very compact. They defended well, and mate, on a better day for them, that Foden goal is offside, and they probably maybe come away with a 0-0. I thought they gave a good account of themselves. Teams are going to struggle to play City and possession based, go a full sprint at City. Leeds try to do that, and look what happens. So I think Brentford come out with the correct game plan. And they just did lack a bit of cutting edge. On a better day, maybe they get something from it. But I thought they like you said, they did show a good account of themselves. And I worry for Villa. Hopefully, we can break them down.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of. I think that's something a lot of teams do. Where they play City and they play into City's hands a bit. They set up in a way that City never going to set up, or they do the expected. And I think Brentford, I think City would have probably thought that Brentford would have rolled over a little bit more easily, but they certainly didn't. And fair play to Brentford. I hope they stay up this season. I think they will. I'm a big fan of their manager as well. I think he's good, seems like a nice guy, and he's definitely decent on the touchline for him. I guess we should take a look at some of these fixtures coming up now, Rod. I'm going to start though with one of Gameweek's 20's fixtures, because it still hasn't happened yet. It is tonight, United against Wolves. We'll only touch on it quickly. Oh no, it's not, sorry. United against Burnley. We'll only touch on it quickly, Rod. How do you see this one going down?
But mate, before watching the Newcastle game, I would have said you were going to blitz through these next two teams. But after watching that and knowing what Burnley are like, although you are at home, so big advantage, this is a game. I'm surely you played Norwich, you played Newcastle, and I haven't been convinced. But I think Ranić, it'll prove the haters wrong. I think he's going to go with a bit of a different formation. I have heard some rumours from good sources that Henderson is starting in goal. I think De Gea's out. But yeah, I think you're going to win 2-0.
Yeah, just looking at the previous heads-to-head, so United have won the last 4, scoring 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, 3-1. For me, I just feel like Newcastle always have a really great performance when they play United at St James's. It's like their cup final for them, and they always just show up. And I thought United were terrible. I definitely want to see improvement from United. And I think United can get the win in this one, because I think, I'm going to say this now, I don't see too much threat in the Burnley side. They'll probably go on and win 3-0 now or something like that. But I think United should win quite comfortably. I'm going to go with 2-0 United though. Moves on to the Saturday games rather than, what a game to kick off the new year. Arsenal, an informed Arsenal side, we should say, going up against Manchester City. How do you see it going, mate?
It's a difficult one, mate. I am looking forward to this game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm pleased it is on TV. Whether I'll be up for it in time, I don't know. I think this will actually show where Arsenal are at.
They're going to get smashed.
I think in the City home leg, I think it was at 5-0.
I remember that game because I was in Cardiff on a night out, and then woke up and I was watching the game really hungover. I think it might have been on a Saturday or a Sunday, the reverse fixture, but it was boring. Xhaka got sent off. It was just shite, wasn't it?
Manchester City were chanting who put the ball in the Arsenal net. Half the fucking team did. But I think City are going to have too much for Arsenal. But it is a 12:30 kickoff on New Year's Day, so God knows who would have been drinking the night before. But they are professional athletes, so I hope they're sensible.
But they won't be, because they all stay in like a hotel, don't they? Night before. Yeah. For me, I think City will batter them because, like I've said, if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. But for me, Arsenal are a team who, when they come up against a team which is just better than them, they don't do a Brentford and fight. They bend over and take up the arse, mate. This is their sort of game, and I think it's going to happen again. I think I'm going to go with City 4-0. Rod, what do you think?
I'm going to go City. I'm going to go 2-2. You know,
boring. Yeah, mate. Boring. Arsenal. We got to talk shit on Arsenal. That's what we do. Right. Next game, Leicester against Norwich. I've been very impressed with Leicester, Rod. I think Madders might have got a knock in the last game, so I hope he plays it because he's been really informed. I'd love to bring him in to my FPL team, actually.
Yeah, I saw some news on that. They reckon he'll be okay for this game, but he did take a knock. But they said it's not serious, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him. But Norwich, poor. Leicester, I think they've been poor as well, to be completely honest.
They're back now. They showed signs in the City game, and then against Liverpool, they were brilliant, I thought. So, do you not think that you got to favour them against Norwich, surely?
I just hate Leicester, to be completely. I hate Schmeichel.
You just hate Schmeichel and the Clappers. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
I do hate Clappers, to be fair. But their owners are class. At the Liverpool game, they gave them a free caramel slice and a pint of beer. So, I like the owners, but I hate Schmeichel. I'm going to go for a Norwich 1-0 win.
Fuck off, you arrogant mate. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm going to go Leicester 4-0. Leicester. Because it's a jab. Watford against Spurs. I think this is going to be a more suitable game for Watford. Obviously, they're coming off the back of a bit of an hiding from who did they play? They got who was it? Who just whacked fucking Watford?
West Ham.
West Ham, right? So they're playing Spurs.
Okay.
I think Spurs. Obviously, they could just go out there and smack them, but I think they're a bit like they're not out the gates as quick. So I'm gonna go with Watford to hang in there and pick up a 2-2 draw, Rod. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, it's a brave prediction. Spurs away. They look poor away, but a few days rest with them, they should be okay to go. I'm going to go for a 2. Dennis, I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I believe truly the 2-2, but I'm gonna I don't know, fake it till I make it into existence, basically.
Just a quick one on Dennis. Do you think he stays at Watford if they go down?
Probably not. But I don't know where he'd go. I think like he'd actually be really good in a team like Brentford, playing off Deeney.
Yeah.
Not Deeney. What's his name? Tony. Fucking not that bleak. Fucking yeah. Right. Crystal Palace against West Ham. I really like this. This is the sort of game I really like. I'll definitely be watching this one. What do you think? Quite tightly matched because I think Palace have been really good at points of the season. So have West Ham, both coming off the back of a couple of wins. So how do you see it going?
Yeah, this is an exciting matchup. Two teams that play good football. I think Palace plays slightly better football than West Ham, but evenly matched. Hopefully Conor Gallagher's back for them after hopefully recovering from COVID. Edouard looked like he was a menace the other day. So I think it's going to be quite a high-scoring game. I'm going to go for a 2-2.
Yeah, the thing for me is I can't wait until Eze gets really back in that Palace side because I really like watching him play. I think he's fun as they come. Like for me, I think West Ham might fuck. But, I'm gonna go 2-1 West Ham. Your boy Jared Bowen to get the winner. Sunday, Rod, it kicks off at Villa Park. Oh no, at Brentford Community Stadium, but the Villa boys are there. I think you've got. I think this is a tough game for you, isn't it? You went to the reverse game, didn't you?
I did, and Brentford were hard to break down then. But I don't know. It's a difficult game. Watching that City Brentford game last night, City was struggling to break them down. To be completely honest, Stevie Gerrard will be back on the touchline, luckily, so that will give us a much needed boost. I
think it's an interesting game.
I just don't want Brentford to score first. I think if we score first, I think we'll be okay. But if Brentford score first, we know what they can do. They can sit back, they can soak up the pressure. But I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna go for a Villa 2-0.
I'm gonna go for a Villa 2-1. I just think that maybe you're the more clinical of the side when it comes to taking chances. I think you've probably got the better finishers in your side. I think Tony's real good, but he's just. They just don't look as threatening, Brentford, on the front foot. They're like, if you said, oh, Brentford have scored, who scored from them? You could go like with any player in their team. It could be anyone. Whereas Villa, you're most likely going to go with someone from the Villa side. Nah, but you know what I mean? You got more clinical finishes, I think. I think Watkins is probably going to score in this one.
Hope so, mate, and I imagine he's in your team as he is in mine.
Well, yeah, he's been in my team since I put him in before the Villa game, which never happened. Sorry,
mate. Touch of masterclass.
Yeah, Everton against Brighton. I think you got favour Brighton away here.
Yeah, mate, this will be Everton's first game they've played in fucking ages, and Brighton. I am just so impressed with Brighton. I think they just look really good, and they're just confident with the ball, and they've got an average squad, but they go toe to toe with the big boys. So I fancy Brighton here, mate. I'm going to go Brighton 2-1.
Yeah. Oh shit! Fucking hell! All over the place with my voice today. Yeah, I'm going to go Brighton 2-0, and I think. Yeah, I think they'll be dominant in this game. I don't think Everton will really look in. Leeds against Burnley at Ellen Road. God, that's a tough one. Obviously,
Mate,
I don't know what the Burnley score's going to be tonight, but I'm not. I just don't rate Leeds this season at all.
I'm with you, but they will have had about a week and a half off time to get some players fit, and I've just had a look, and it's 4 2 o'clock games on the Sunday, so that is quite exciting. But I think Leeds should win it, even depleted. They should win, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leeds.
Fair enough. I think Burnley give them a good game. I think they're, what's the word, like rotund? What is that word like? They're strong defensively, and I just don't rate Leeds at all. Obviously, there's been big links with Rafinha recently. Sounds like he's going to sign a new contract though, but Liverpool and Bayern Munich sniffing around. Yeah, I'm going to go Burnley 2-1 in that game. Southampton against Newcastle, I favour Southampton quite comfortably. Obviously, they could have a new player in by now. Then Newcastle, obviously, this game taking place on the 2nd of January, start the transfer window. Be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm going to go with Southampton to win 2-1. James Ward-Prowse free kick and penalty.
Yeah, did you see that? Obviously, Wilson got injured, Fraser got injured, St. Maximum got injured, so they are going to be pretty bare bones.
Mate, it was like cup final against United. That's what I said. Like they went out there, and it was like they was like the best performance they've ever put in. It was like United was so shit as well, but fair play to them.
Wilson got injured doing a roulette, mate.
I didn't even think that was a foul.
He's just a bunch of idiots, mate. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Southampton win.
Fair enough. I think this is the best game of New Year's, probably. Can either of these teams climb back into the title race? I don't think so, but it's Chelsea against Liverpool, Rod. How do you see this one going down? Obviously, the fixture, when Liverpool were at home in the last game they played, it was a draw in the end. Chelsea went down to 10 men and they just had to hold on because Reece James getting sent off with the handball on the line.
Exactly, and I think the winner of this is still marginally in the title race. If it's a draw, I think they're both pretty much out, but I think the winner of this still has a glimmer of hope. Not hugely, but a glimmer. But I'm going to go with a Liverpool 2-1 win.
Are you? I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. I just think Klopp's been moaning a lot, and when you moan, you get it back. For the second time though, Rod, I'm gonna go with Chelsea 2-1 actually in that game. Yeah, for the second time though, Rod, we're gonna break down a United game. It's Manchester United against Wolves. So United are coming off the back of a 5-0 victory at home against Burnley. How does this game go down?
I think the reverse fixture was quite a good one. I thought Wolves were quite good.
United jammed it.
Yeah, I thought the same. Once again, it kind of lies on what happens in this Burnley game. If you show good account, we're saying against Burnley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you show up against, that's the thing. It's if the United players show up and actually want to play. For me,
in the United side, like with the Spurs, I think there's too many egos. And Neville pointed something out the other day, and there is just a lot of whining, a lot of moaning, and I don't know. It just doesn't really bode well. But you should have enough to beat Wolves, I hope. Actually, I don't hope.
United fan.
I'm going to go 1-0.
United fan in disguise, Rod. I'm going to go with United to win. No, I'm going to go with United to lose 2-1 to Wolves. Wolves defensively strong. Obviously, it feels like I haven't watched Wolves in ages, but I think they've looked better on the attack in recent fixtures. So I just don't think United are really showing up. Yeah, so that's the end of it, Rod. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, we'll be back then for whenever the next games are. Hopefully, but we'll see. Whatever happens.
Just had a look, and I don't know if you know, but obviously the games after this, the next lot start on Friday the 14th.
Yeah, so there's a game week in between, isn't there?
we've got 2 weeks off, right? Is it because there a cup? Is it FA Cup? Oh, I think it might be FA Cup.
Oh
Is it FA
yeah,
Cup?
is it FA Cup?
Yeah, I think it's always the first.
It's FA Cup.
Yeah, I think we put you in the FA Cup.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
I was telling you to get some tickets, but I think you missed out on that.
we
Anyway.
yeah we play. Sorry, we play you in the FA Cup
Yeah.
the middle week, and then we play you in the league the week after. So that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining me. To those of you listening or watching out there, I hope you have a very happy New Year. Bring it in with some smiles and all the best for whatever's coming up for you. Hopefully, it's going to be decent, and I hope it's decent for us as well. So until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.